What's a Nintendo video game console without a bunch of weird sports games? We got another one. Mario Tennis is back. Scott Butterworth.
Hello.
Is it good?
Not really.
Great.
That's pretty much the internet consensus.
I really wanted my review to just be a gif of me going, it's fine.
Yeah.
Like, that really could have been the review. Because
these games seem to fall into two camps. It's as mediocre as you might expect, to this is a surprisingly good one. Like Mario Strikers Charge. This is a surprisingly good one.
Yeah.
Like, what was the tennis game on GameCube? That was one I really liked. I was like,
and the one on 64 as well. The first Mario Tennis on 64 was excellent. Like, I played a lot of that. Actually, I played a lot of GoldenEye and then would alternate over to Mario Tennis when we needed a palate cleanser. So it was a lot of those two. Both of which were incredibly frustrating to play with your friends who are better than you, though. So I don't recommend building friendships on either of those games.
So Mario Tennis Ultra Smash.
It's true.
Ultra Smash.
It's about as ultra as they get.
Was that remember they did that whole DS thing where like it was like every game had like a DS subtitle? Was the Ultra for the Wii U? Is that what they were doing?
Not that I'm aware of.
No,
I mean, maybe you've stumbled onto a really fascinating naming trends that none of us noticed.
Might be reading between the lines. But look, this looks rad. What's wrong with you, Scott? Look, Mario's huge.
It actually does look
types,
pretty good. Yeah. I mean, it's a very pretty game, and it's got those flashy trails behind the ball when you hit it a certain way.
You can play two. This is a two-player game.
It's like, and I will say that being able to use the
four-player.
The gamepad as a second screen makes local multiplayer a lot more fun because you can just have you have the camera angle exactly how you want it as a player. You kind of want the camera behind your avatar when you're playing, and so this allows two players to have that. So local multiplayers, in a way, benefits from that pretty substantially, even though they don't use the gamepad in any more creative ways. Beyond that, it's still nice to have that.
A lot of games haven't been doing that. Even from Nintendo, the Wii U gamepad is basically reverted to being a second screen. And so many games, I think, have just shifted over to that. Instead of trying to make this do something new or unique or original, here's a way for you to play this game and let somebody else use the TV because they probably don't want to watch you play this game.
Yeah, I've been playing Mario Maker all weekend and I'm really enjoying that sort of whole experience. Yeah, you're saying a lot of nice things about this Mario Tennis game. Why does it only get 6 out of 10?
So it loses a lot of points simply because it's a very empty game. It's just very bare bones. It's like the least amount of stuff you could put in a game. It's like, okay, we're done. Here you go. It's like there's no tournament mode. There's no real campaign or career or anything.
Oh wow.
There's nothing really to work towards. There's no progression of any kind. Like you can unlock. There are a handful of weird cartoony courts that you can unlock, and they're kind of fun. But it's really not much to work towards. So the biggest issue is just the game is really empty. There's nothing. The older games, like the GameCube game, had these wild mini games that used the mechanics in sort of interesting ways, and all the characters had different power shots that were unique to those characters. So depending on who you were playing, it would change the experience in some way. But there's nothing that meaningfully changes the mechanics of this game. It's just you can hit a ball back and forth a bunch.
Playing tennis.
Woo! And that's fun.
Yoshi's, look, he's playing tennis.
The biggest thing they added this time was Mega Battle, which is basically a quick play mode in which little toads, who you can see hanging out on the side of the court there, will toss mega mushrooms at you, and your character will grow to supersize for a brief period of time. Yeah. But if both characters are supersized, then it's almost impossible to miss because you're so big, you have infinite reach. Yeah. So it just turns into a meaningless volley for a minute as you wait for the other person to shrink. And then if you shrink at the wrong time, you don't have any control over when you shrink back down to your regular size. And if the ball happens to be coming towards you when you shrink, you'll probably just miss it and you'll lose a point simply because of just poor luck. I mean, it doesn't indicate that it's about to happen, but even if you knew, sometimes the timing works out that you couldn't do anything about it anyway, and you're just, you shrank and the ball went past you because you're suddenly have way less reach, and you just get screwed by the game. It's how did no one think of this?
But you can add amiibo. Look at all the amiibo.
Yeah, even the amiibo functionality is kind of bare bones. You can bring them along with you in the closest thing to a campaign that this game has, which is a ladder style, playing every character in a row, increasingly difficult, and you can drag an amiibo character along with you for that, and you can actually bring one online.
They just sit on the baseline?
Yeah, they kind of hang out on the baseline, and anything you miss, they might pick up. Although I experimented with it to see exactly how much help they would give you, and basically if you return the serve and then just run away, they will pretty much take care of things for you, which is kind of hilarious.
Do they level up faster if you make them do that?
I don't know, but you can level them, which is important. If you're really into amiibos, you can actually level them up by playing the ladder mode. and you can bring them online as well, so you have a little like extra help.
Okay.
Like your amiibo buddy online is better as a result of that training.
Although anything that you do with amiibo can only be saved to that one game. Like if you want to use that amiibo then in Super Smash Brothers, you have to delete all of that data. You can't carry it over between games. That's the way amiibo works. So
It'll
like if
delete the data.
Yes.
It won't even just like leave it there.
No.
It'll just...
No, you lose that data. That is deleted from your character. You have to move it over to Smash
Not only
Brothers.
is your Daisy no good at tennis in Smash Bros, but she's also no good at tennis in tennis game anymore.
Amiibo still hasn't found that hook that makes it a really good game. And
Yeah,
I think,
it has, because it's sold millions.
Yeah,
Who's buying all these amiibos?
Oh,
It's a good question, Justin. Who is? Who's buying these? We demand answers.
I only have like 40.
I was really disappointed. I tried other Nintendo characters hoping that there would be like secret character unlocks. No, like it's only the characters that are in the game. So it's like Wario's in the game. If you have a Wario amiibo, that'll work. But like Link amiibo didn't work.
Oh, really?
Nope.
But don't you unlock like slightly more sparkly gold versions of all the characters?
Yeah, like you eventually, like when you beat the ladder mode, you unlock like the star version of that character and like you have a little star icon on the menu. But I couldn't actually figure out how that impacted like what it did.
They glow a little
like
bit.
I would assume that it makes the character like better, but I don't know what that means. And like it didn't have a tangible impact on the gameplay. They didn't really look different, they didn't really play different. So it's like, why did I bother grinding all the way through this like ladder match mode to like
Well, you're better at tennis. You're a tennis player. You're a tennis pro.
Yeah.
So I think
Somehow it didn't feel worth it.
I think it's a problem for Nintendo's, for what people think of the Wii U, that these kind of games are coming out late in the year because they've had a really good year.
Yeah, for sure.
And now we're having these kind of lackluster final titles. Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival, and just from Nintendo in general, Triforce Heroes, games that kind of feel half-baked. Like they're good, they're mechanically solid, they look good, they sound good, but there's a lot missing and it feels like maybe they're rushed out. And I think part of that might be because we're going to see the NX next year. Because for the longest time, I've been thinking like they're going to announce it next year. It'll come out even later. This feels like they're gearing up to announce and ship the NX next year because these games, they're just pushing these out.
Just get all the wacky sports titles out there.
Especially when you look at like how much they put into Amiibo, and then you have such limited functionality for all of these games. Like it feels like if they were really trying to push something with this, and games that are just missing it entirely, like Triforce Heroes, if they were really something behind these, if they needed them to incubate longer, they would have put all of that functionality into it. And I think they're just getting rid of these titles now to shift over.
Last question for you, Scott.
Sure.
The game seems shallow. It seems enjoyable in some respect, though. It's still got a 6 out of 10 on GameSpot.
Yeah.
Is this something you might consider, recommending people pick up if it hits like $30, something like that?
I mean, it's up to you how much you want to spend on games, right? I mean, for certain people, $30 is still a lot of money. For some people, $60 isn't a lot of money, or $50. So, I mean, it just depends. Yeah, I mean, it did get a 6. A 6 is a fair score. You know, it doesn't mean the game is bad. It just means that it could have been quite a bit better.
Yeah.
The thing that really saved it for me is that the local multiplayer is pretty fun. Cool. I mean, it is a competently executed tennis game with, like, the fun colors of a Mario sports game, you know? So if you have people that you like to have over to your house to sit down and play games, especially like kind of light, fun party games that are easy to pick up and kind of competitive but not too, crazy or in-depth, this is a fun one to pick up for that kind of circumstance. Anything else, probably not so much, but if you're that kind of person and that kind of gamer, this could totally be something that you'll have some fun with.
What if you're like me and you live alone and live sadly and just sit around and play games in your underwear while eating cookie dough?
That's what like League of Legends is for, man.
All right, Scott Butterworth.
Just kidding, guys.
So
just kidding.
much. It's all the LOL fans just go at him. You're lucky Travis Gafford was here yesterday. Would have taken.
Oh yeah, there's several people who would punch me in the face for saying that. I'm glad none of them are on this couch.
Justin, thanks for coming on.
Thank
Appreciate it as ever. Scott, as ever, thank you for your review. If you want to read the full review, it's up on GameSpot.com. 6 out of 10 is the score, but make sure you go over there. Check the written review, or was there a video review? We did a 1 minute.
There was
review.
not. There's a 1 minute review on Facebook.
Okay, so there is.
But you have to read actual words to get.
You have to read actual words.
Bummer.
You got to work for it.
Yep.
Let us know what you think of the latest Mario Tennis game if you played it yourself. Ultra Smash.
Ultra Smash.
In the comment box below.